Welcome back to another Live and Amplified livecast. I'm your host, Tom Quiet. We are here closing out day 2 CMA Fest. We got Canaan Cox. How's it going today, man?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me out.
Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing how quickly some of these interviews just kind of come together.
We literally just had one. I booked as many as I could from, again, being on tour, just getting backed up on emails. And then I was walking out, and another one who had messaged me. They were like, hey, what are you doing right now?
Let's do this.
I was like, let's go for it, man. So I'm glad we made it in.
Yeah, absolutely. And we were talking offline. I've been following you at least for a year and a half now, I guess. And you'd done the Grinch, the cover of it or whatever it was. And I thought that was such a cool music video and
thanks, man.
Good interpretation of the song. And I was like, I'm going to try and get him on. And then, it was, December 23rd.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, that ain't going to do anybody any good. But.
Traveling before Christmas. But no, the Grinch, I have a degree in musical theater. And a lot of Jim Carrey stuff. Just The Mask, Liar, Liar, watch it. And so, we were going to do a different Christmas song that year. And then I was like, nah, I've got this idea for a Grinch cover. And so, we did that instead. So I'm glad it grabbed your attention.
Yeah, for sure. It's weird, that time of year, some of the random songs that just kind of grab your attention and who you get introduced to and stuff. Did you just get back from the UK? Did I read that correct?
Yeah, just literally got back 36 hours ago. I'm a little jet lagged.
You're running on adrenaline.
Running off Celsius energy drinks. No, but we did a full month U.S. tour. We started in April, and then we had about 5 days off before we went to the UK.
Nice.
And then literally I came back. I was going to stay. My wife's from England, and so I was over there with her after the tour. So we had 3 days off of that, and then we booked this, and came back early. But we did get back on Wednesday at 10 p.m. And so by the time I got back, and 4 hours of sleep, and here we are. We are here.
Fair enough.
But yeah, man,
it's crazy how many international artists that I've ran into here. So many people from the UK, which is absolutely amazing. I'm hoping to get over there next year. I was going to go for a country on the coast. Was that in March, April, whenever it is? And they keep inviting me out, which is great. And I just have the visa stuff, the passport. That's always
there's a lot of stuff to do, but it's a whole nother world over there. As far as we sold tickets well on the U.S. tour, but over there, just triple, quadruple, the sizes of the rooms, and it's crazy. And then even in the audience, I had people who just saw me on my UK tour here.
Oh wow!
And they were like, "Oh man, we were at your Glasgow show, and we were at your, and so it's cool to see, the shirts, out in the audience. And this is my first time playing CMA Fest, so it's just cool to kind of come in with a bang,
Yeah, it's that sense of familiarity, but also that excitement of that first day of high school. That's kind of the thing I've been saying recently, especially here at CMA Fest, is it's a family reunion, but the first day of high school. So it's all these people that either to some degree or have actually met, but then you don't really know who they are because you've talked to them maybe a couple times on Instagram.
We just did the meet and greet, the fanfare upstairs, and it was cool to talk to. But people I've chatted to. Again, I'm 100% independent. I don't have a manager. I don't have a label. I do everything myself, and so people are like, oh man, I think it's so cool that you respond. I don't know if it's you or not. I'm no, it's 120% me. I'm sorry if I don't know who you are. I was but I do respond. And then some people coming from, who didn't know who you were, but we saw you at the stage earlier. And saw that you're doing meet and greet, so here we are. And so it's just a cool place to be,
Nice, that's awesome. So what are you working on right now? Where are you kind of at musically?
I am taking a break. We just released an album before tour, April 12th. We had Let It Run, a small little project that we released, and then at the end of tour, we just dropped a new single, Just Kids. And so it's been a lot, though. We got a newborn just in February, and a little 5-year-old dude. So it's been a lot just with them and new. And, I've got the most amazing wife who's just been holding down the fort while I've been on the road. And they got to come see some shows. But I'm I would love to just take a deep breath. And we're all working on things, scheduling things out. But, there's nothing right around the corner. I think we might release a single or two. Definitely going to love Christmas, so we'll definitely be doing another Christmas tune.
Nice.
But mostly just prep mode for 2025 tour and what the release schedule looks like.
That's the crazy thing with music is you've got to be like, it's so weird to think we're in June and you've already got to be thinking about June next year.
I have every single date already marked on the calendar of like when something's going to drop, what is the purpose of it dropping then, and when are we going to go. And the UK was so amazing. We're already working on going back and adding more like Ireland dates because we haven't been there yet. And then we're seeing a lot of the Europe, Germany and Netherlands and all those spots. So it's crazy to think that it's not even July 4th in 2024 yet, and you're like, what's next year look like?
Right? But you have to be because
like,
especially since post or the pandemic, like I remember 2022, 2023, they were booked out for 2 years, and I'm sure it's probably still relatively similar to that.
Yeah, there's a lot of, I mean, even last year we played UK in 2023, and there was a really great venue in Edinburgh that we played, and I messaged maybe 2 weeks after we had played it, and I was like, hey, would love to, like, reconnecting with all the venues again, want to come back out in 2024. What does this look like? And they're like, oh, every Friday and Saturday are booked up until like August. And I was like, holy hell, like, that's crazy.
Like, all right, what does like a Tuesday look like?
Well, that's the thing that we're working on now is, you doing it all yourself. You live and learn, and you see how to make it more, not financially viable. Obviously, it's a business, but that was one of the reasons that we did the U.S. tour, and we headlined and we played all major markets. And it was just to get a good grasp of like, where are people listening to me, and where, and that was the hard part though, being at my level of trying to sell tickets on a Monday night during a school year. And you're like, I don't know if that's a good inclination of like what I could actually sell in Denver. You know what I mean? It's just like, man, it's a 9:00 show on a Wednesday. And you're like, I'm sure these people have lives and they go off work and, they got kids that put in school. And so it was definitely seeing the ups and downs of Friday and Saturday night shows to being like, oh yeah, we're about to play Dallas on Tuesday. We got 60 tickets sold.
Sweet. That's going to be great.
Yeah. So it's
60 tickets in a 300 seat like venue.
Yeah.
Like,
but I mean, there is that, you can't, I knew that going in. I knew what was going to, that we were just testing the waters. But that's the cool part of seeing it, there was only like 60 people in, Dallas or whatever. But still, like, someone who's doing it myself, like there were 60 people in Dallas who bought tickets to come and see me, and they weren't just like 50% there. These are fanatics, and these people that know every single word. And it's like there was only 60 people there, but the energy and the feeling was like this was a sold out show.
And that's something that kind of gets glossed over. Like, it's 60 people, and was it worth coming out to Dallas for whatever you're charging times 60? Maybe, maybe not. But like, if you look at it from a purely monetary aspect, then it probably wasn't. If you have to ask that question, it probably wasn't worth it. But if you look at it to like, okay, I went out, we played a very intimate set to 60 people. It probably had such an imprint on them that the next time I come to Dallas, they're gonna be like, hey, this guy Canaan Cox, you gotta go check him out.
Word of mouth.
Word of mouth. And I guarantee you converted at least 40 of them to be like hardcore. Like,
and that's been and I mentioned it at those shows, literally what you just said. I'm like, hey guys, we played, a perfect example was we played Edinburgh last year, and it was still good, still like, to go overseas and sell 100 tickets, it's been great. But then last week we almost sold out, and I was like, it's working. And I was like, so now you guys, all you new fans who weren't here last year, now you go tell your friends, and then next year we'll come back and we'll sell 400. You know what I mean? And so it's working. It's working.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're in the process of kind of like cooling down for the summer and just kind of enjoying enjoying life after a hard grind for the first part of the year.
Yeah, it's not even just been this year, but I mean pretty much I think it was August of last year. Still independent, all the things, but I wanted to get an agent. I was already booking myself, but it's kind of hard to book a full-on tour. And so I just hustling and grinding and getting some people's attention, and I was like, hey, like I'm not naive. I'm not a stupid artist. I'm not trying to like say I need to be opening up for, so-and-so. I was like, I'm trying to sell 200, 300 cap rooms here. I'm doing all myself. Here's my ticket sales and the, whatever. And so we got on board, and then they were like, well, if we're going to do a tour, let's release new music. And then I knew that my wife was pregnant, and so basically everything revolved around musically getting everything turned in and done before the new baby was here. But then also getting everything prepared to go on tour. And so I feel like since August, since we knew that we were going to do an album and go on tour, it has just been full-fledged, pedal to the metal, and again, doing it on myself. It's quite a bit, but at the same time, I'm very, not to sound vain, but I'm very proud of myself. I'm very pat myself on the back. And someone asked in another interview, they were like, what was like the coolest part? And I was like, the fact that I'm like almost done. Like not in a way of like, oh man, I'm so excited to be, but in a sense of
you accomplished what you set out to.
This, and I was like, we turned in the album. The album's doing well. We did the U.S. tour, and not even to mention all the crazy stuff that happens on the road as far as like our transmission went out in the van in the middle of Salt Lake City. And it's like, oh, cool. Well, do we cancel? Like, what are our options here?
You just hitchhike.
Yeah, right. And so there was all of that. And so just on the flight back over to come here, we obviously had this show. But I was like, man, it's that. Like, that's what I've taken away is just like how, like, you did it. Yeah. Like, way to go. Yeah. So,
it's the accomplishment of a task. You know, and it was a very big task. It's not necessarily the like individual, our transmit, like all the different things you had to overcome, or it's the whole thing as a whole, where it's like we set out to go out on tour to do X amount of dates, and we did it.
Yep.
Like that's the reward.
And everyone came back alive.
Yes. That is honestly sometimes a struggle.
Yeah, and my guitar player said it too. He said at the end, and he just was like, man, obviously you have been playing with other people and certain things. He's like, this was great. Like, obviously we had certain like road bumps, but it's one of those things where you are in the van with your boys, and or certain things are it could go very wrong. Yeah. You know what I mean?
You get to know a different side of your bandmates and your friends.
The bandmates, and you're there together, and at the end of the day, it's like you come home and you're like, man, I know I've seen you for the last 2 months, but like, you want to go grab a beer? Okay. No, well, I mean, it's one of those, and like he said, I called him yesterday, and I was like, what you been doing? Like, you've been home? He's like, honestly, I woke up every day and I've just felt anxious because I don't have anything to do.
Right.
And I was like, well, cool. Do you want to go like watch a movie? I was like, sure. Yeah, he didn't. He had other work to do.
That's right.
But
very fair.
But yeah, so it's just been the accomplishment of getting it done.
Nice. So. Awesome. Well, I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but I really appreciate you sitting down to chat. Obviously, congrats on everything you've been doing, and it's been really cool kind of since I was introduced to you back in 2022, just kind of watching everything that you've been doing, and it's been really awesome to see. And the fact that we're sitting here, CMA Fest, chatting. And,
hell yeah.
It wouldn't be a live and amplified production run if I didn't have some last minute
calls. And like, hey, sit down in this chair and let's have a talk.
I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow my schedule goes from like a light schedule to like everything from now until 5 is book solid.
That's awesome. So, well, hopefully that's the case, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it. But if anybody wants to check out your music, any of that fun stuff, where's the best place to find you?
I mean, as far as streaming platforms, wherever, Canaan Cox on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, all the fun stuff. And then socials, I just live on, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, really. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Well, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me on.
Appreciate you. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and we will catch you all later.